Ahmed al Farsi, have been living in this villa for the past 25 years with my family. Our village is situated in the heart of Oman, about 400 kilometers away from the capital city, Muscat. The people in my community often use my villa as a landmark to direct their relatives and friends to their homes. Even the food delivery boys, shopkeepers, or the cab drivers are so familiar with my villa that it acts as a point of commute and trade. People often walk up to me and compliment me for building such a majestic villa. People in their 60s, like me, love the beige-colored finish of the villa and the sense of gentleness and graciousness it adds. Slightly younger men often adore the intricately designed windows and artistically crafted pillars, holding the villa together. Children enjoy the vast lawn in front of the villa, stretching till the high raised compound wall. They frequently visit the camel shed in the backyard, for I own about 25 camels. My wife, Ashiba, would often invite the women in our community for socializing. The women like the decorative arches, the wide porch where they sit and chat, the interior designs and fine marble walls. My father passed away 25 years ago, and being the eldest son, I inherited the ancestral property and equally divided it with my 3 younger brothers. I worked as a higher secondary government school teacher back then. I took a bank loan, put my savings along with the inherited wealth into building this villa. As children growing up, me and my brothers lived with our parents in a small house. In the night, my father and I would often sleep inside a makeshift tent so that my mother and brothers could sleep comfortably inside our home. The nights would turn extremely cold, especially in winter. I would shiver even with 2 or 3 blankets over me. Seeing my plight, my father would wrap his arm around me to provide warmth. Many nights, I would stare at the sky and wonder what it would take to have a big roof over my head. Building a good home for me and my family was my life's mission. My father, Mr Ahmed al Farsi, often took me to several social gatherings in our village to meet the elders in the community. They were like a beacon of light and living encyclopedia of knowledge for the younger men and women. It was in one such festival gathering that I heard about the workers from India. A wise elder in the village, Mr Said al-Balushi, who owned several fishing boats, employed several Indian workers as fishermen. He had very good things to say about their professionalism, work ethic, and intelligence. I was very impressed after listening to his talk. That day, I decided that I would build my home, utilizing the manpower from India. When the time was right, a few years later, my father suddenly fell ill and passed away. My mother wanted me to get married and start my own family. Without a decent house, it was impractical for me to get into a marriage. I realized that the time was just right to fulfill my ambition of building a dream villa which would stand the test of time. So, I hired an Indian building contractor by the name Gopalan, who gave me a detailed plan of the villa, the budget, the time frame, and the manpower requirements. He promised to complete the construction by 15 months. One day, Gopalan brought with him 10 workers from India. As they were getting down from the van with their luggage and belongings, the last one exiting the van tripped and fell flat on his belly, right under my feet. He looked at me from bottom to top and gave a sheepish smile. I lifted him up from the floor and patted him. He looked at my face and said, "Walaikum assalam Arababu." I burst into a laugh on hearing these. This one man immediately caught my attention. He was a short man, about 5.5 feet in height, had small eyes, a thick black mustache with a twirl at the ends, a slightly protuberant belly, and was dark in complexion. He would often smear an ash-colored powder across his forehead and place a red-colored mark over it. The other men were looking similar. They were well built, with good physique and toned bodies. Some of them grew beard, Some of them applied sandal paste on their foreheads. They all spoke the same language and would often enjoy black tea together. They looked like a close-knit unit. The odd one in the group, the short and stubby man, seldom spoke. I would often hear several melodious songs while visiting the construction site. When I would look around, all the 9 men would point their fingers at the 10th man, the odd one, the most unique and eye-catching worker among them. They all called him Muthu. Every time he would see me, he would greet me with a good morning and a smile. I liked him. There was an innocence in his smile, humbleness in his words, proficiency in his work, simplicity in his clothes, and magic in his voice. These laborers worked tirelessly throughout the day and would rest at night. Slowly and steadily, my dream villa was taking shape. I would often admire the professionalism, sincerity, sense of responsibility, and commitment they showed. Within 13 months, my villa was completed and the keys were handed over to me. Me and my family were extremely happy and content with our new home. The villa was spacious and luxurious with good airflow across the living space. I understood that maintaining this house was going to be a big ordeal. I wanted a domestic help who would take good care of the house and our camels. The laborers, having completed their work, were leaving to India. Spontaneously, I just asked Muthu if he could stay back with my family as a domestic help. He was silent for a while. I promised him that I would pay 400 Omani riyals per month as a salary, with food and accommodation. Muthu agreed. This is how Muthu entered into our lives. He stayed in a small room adjacent to the camel shed, within our compound. I married Ashiba, and she moved into our family. Within the first year of our marriage, my son Omar was born. When me and my wife were busy raising our son, it was Muthu who took care of the cooking, all the household chores, tending to the camels, washing my car frequently, driving my car and taking me back and forth to school where I worked. Life was going on very smoothly. Often my brothers would visit us with their families. We all would sit together and have dinner in our home. Muthu would decorate the dining area and the lawn with lights, making the ambience a pleasant one. Muthu always went about his work with a smile and a greeting. He never frowned when guests arrived at our home. When my wife was pregnant for the second time, she accidentally slipped and tumbled down the staircase. I could see blood on the floor. I panicked, not knowing what to do. My brothers were far away that day. Hearing my wife's screams, Muthu came running from his room and insisted we take Ashiba to the hospital immediately. We both lifted her from the floor and placed her in the car. Understanding the gravity of the situation, Muthu suggested we take her directly to Muscat, where better facilities would be available. But driving Bahang 400 kilometers at 1 a.m., Tai was hesitant. Muthu took the car key and told he would drive. So I sat on the back seat with my wife on one side and son on the other, while Muthu drove. We reached Muscat in about 4 hours. Immediately, the doctors performed a cesarean operation, and my daughter Ira was born. She is 20 years old now. Very intelligent, confident, and strong woman. Every time I see her, I can't stop thinking about Muthu and the help he did that day. My wife would often praise Muthu for his composure and boldness. Once, one of our camel calves became sick. I had no hope that it would survive, but Muthu took great care of the calf, spending sleepless nights, staying by the calf's side and nursing him back to good health. Both my children would play with Muthu in the lawn and would often commit some mischief. Muthu never lost his temper or reprimanded my children any day. He was very sportive and easygoing with my children. Muthu spent 11 months a year with our family in our village in Oman. He would travel to his village in the South Indian state of Tamil Nadu for 1 month every year to meet his family. His parents, wife, and children were staying together in a small rented house. Their expenses were met from the money that Muthu would send home from Oman. My entire family would be eagerly waiting for Muthu's return every time he went home, because he would bring different varieties of mangoes, jackfruit, and bananas from his village. He would pack home made delicacies and sweets in steel jars and hand them over to my wife with great joy. Gulab Jamun and Adhirasam was her favorite. Mahildren were very fond of small animal toys carved out of granite and limestone. Muthu would get it for them from some ancient coastal town near the airport. I have never seen such fine artistry anywhere. For me, he would bring newly released Tamil music cassettes. Me and Muthu would sit together for hours and listen to them through my Walkman cassette player. Those were the best days of our lives. There was not a single dull day in 25 years when Muthu was there with us. We always saw Muthu as a part of our family. He entered into our lives, conquered our hearts, and never left. Today, I have everything that a man could possibly ask for. A wonderful family with my wife, my son, my daughter-in-law and son-in-law, a big and luxurious villa, good health, enough wealth, name, fame, and respect in my community. But still there is a big void in my heart, a deep sense of loss, a longing, a grief that is difficult to explain, and that is Muthu.